Well, obviously a great test tomorrow night. It's supposed to be another great crowd, which is just awesome. Friday night league game. You know, you can't beat it. It's going to be a test. It's going to be a challenge. Air Force has improved from last year. Obviously, the system is much like football, where it's just so unique that you have to find a way to simulate it in the days preparing for it so that it's not a shock when you play against it. But they're good. Coach Scott does a great job, and we know it'll be a challenge, so we're looking forward to it.
All right, thanks, guys.
They're a team that up until last year they didn't do it, but before that they defensively just kind of begged teams to shoot threes, and that was what was open. They've really changed the last 2 years. They're one of the bottom 10 in the country now in terms of opponent, three-point distribution and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of fits into what you guys are doing. It looks like every team against them gets their points off of twos primarily, and they're actually fouling a lot too. So those two things are what fit into you because you guys don't shoot threes. Do you see a potentially really good matchup because of how they defend matches up with what you guys want to do?
Well, it's switching man-to-man. It was probably a little more zone before. It's really just they switch everything. And we got to play with proper spacing. Probably they cover the three-point line well because they're always having bodies out there because they're switching so much. But if we can move them a little bit and then play inside to out like anything else, I mean, that's the advantage. But we got to play with proper spacing because they can bog you down a little bit by switching everything. So we've tried hard yesterday to simulate it. We'll try again today to simulate it. But we always want to try to attack the rim. We always want to try to go down low. So I think we did a good job attacking it yesterday. We did a good job last year, certainly at their place, not as great at our place. But it's a unique challenge.
I know you move on, but have you been more shrink this week than basketball coach?
I need to shrink, not them.
Fair enough. Or is this team more mature? How do you bounce back from what you went through? Not physically, but more so about the shoulder.
Honestly, I'm kidding about the shrink part of it. We got back to work. We took a day off right after. I try very, very hard with good or bad to take all the emotion out of it. If I learn from kind of my 8 years at Minnesota, my 1 year at FIU, and the little time that I had to kind of think about, okay, if I get another opportunity, wherever it may be, how am I going to change something? I don't think I've changed a whole lot, but what I have really, really tried very hard to do is not put a value in the final score. Certainly we're judged by winning and losing, and we're 18-3, which is great. But I look at the whole 50 minutes, and I say, did we do a lot of good? Of course we did. Are we playing really, really hard? Absolutely. We just got to execute a little bit better down the stretch. So, no, I don't think they're – much like UNLV a little bit at home, I'm sure there's a little bit of that feeling like, but they're pretty mature. And so, it was business as usual with the film session. It's not like – see, to me, when you lose – what did we lose, by 3? When you lose by 3 – you don't need to tear up everything and burn everything down. Like we could have won. So in all 3 of our losses, we could have won. So, and we scored the ball, which also helps, for their mentality. So for me, no. It was business as usual. There was a lot of things we did well, and there's a lot of things down the stretch we didn't do well, and we address them and move on.
So obviously, you guys have reached the halfway mark of Mount West play. Just kind of your thoughts on where your team is at right now, and thoughts on moving forward, still some room to grow.
Yeah, I think everyone's trying to get better. And, we've talked a lot about, are you going to stay the same or are you going to get better? And obviously after 21 games, we've done an amazing job. That has nothing to do with today. And we had a really good practice yesterday. Hopefully we have a really good, crisp, short practice today and get fired up for a league game in our building on a Friday night that's going to have over 14,000 people in here. So I think we're sitting in a good spot. I think we're a confident group, and we're going to see, we know we got a challenge ahead of us with Air Force.
You feel like there's an education of sort going on about this building, the SI piece that everybody seemed to have read, and I almost feel like there's people that are just now learning about this place. Like the locals have been here for a long time, or it's coming back to life. But like your guys, did they heard about it, but now living it, it's almost got to be like an education and just people really learning for the first time what it's about.
Yeah, I thought the SI piece was awesome. Now, certainly the game was great and we're winning and all that, so you feel good, right? But what I really liked about it was I don't think you can truly appreciate it unless you live here. And now that I'm almost going on 2 years, I think I truly understand what this state and what this community is all about and how important Lobo basketball is to it. We have brand recognition. We do. Really, really good when we go out and we recruit. And the one thing that everybody always says is, oh, the Pit, oh, your fans are crazy, all that stuff. In a good way. They are crazy, but in a good way. And now I've talked a lot about, like after 21 games, certainly we're in the hunt for an NCAA tournament bid. We're in the hunt for a conference championship. We are. Like, that's the reality. But for me, we need to build it and get a sustained model. And the stuff that we've had happen this year is only going to help for future success. And now all of a sudden you got SI writing articles about you. And now nationally we're able to send those to recruits and talk about. I mean, I got so many texts from people from all over, Boston friends, New York, Florida, just saying how cool of an article that was. And so when you live in a state like New Mexico where it may not have the national understanding that, you know, we know about it locally, those articles are amazing to help the brand. And I think what it showed more than anything was how important this program is to the community. And future players, as we continue to build crowds, are going to want to be a part of that. And they want to go to a place that cares because attendance is dwindling everywhere. It just is in every sport because of TVs, and we can watch games on our phone. And for our attendance to be rising like it is, that's only going to continue to build the program. So I said it from day one. I chose the job because of the Pit and the fans. Our players choose this program because of the Pit and the fans, and we continue to do that. We're going to continue to build really good teams.
When you said it from day one, did you have any idea really what it was? Like you kind of were going on maybe memory and stories?
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned because I think in any place, attendance is dwindling. And so when you take the job, that is the selling point. When you talk to Eddie, he's talking about the fans are great, this and that. And you're like, well, is the attendance really that good? And then you're in the middle of a pandemic. So are people not coming because of COVID or because of the team? So you don't really know. So my whole thing from day one was we've got to rebuild the fan base. Now, do we need to do that with catchy slogans and T-shirts? Like, no, that's not me. I'm not that type of person. I'm going to be as authentic as I possibly can be. I'm going to work my butt off to put together a roster that reflects the values of our community. So you felt it last year a little bit, but it was also mask mandate, COVID mandate. And so it was like, all right. But then this year, certainly, you really felt it early in the year. I played that Iona game for that. And now all of a sudden, we're sending these things to all these recruits. Our digital people do such a good job of filming these things. And, so we're obviously in a great spot. We're going to continue to push to get better. But what I'm maybe most proud of is how we've gotten the fans back.
Coach, you want to get better. You want to build to March, hopefully peak in March. Where are the areas that you're looking at as you continue to try to get better that you think the Lobos can improve?
Well, we're just going to try to get better today. I think our defense, I think our rebounding has substantially improved. I think we're sitting around 42, maybe, Ken Palm. Our offensive numbers are really, really good. Our defensive numbers continue to get better. I still think we can share the ball a little bit more than we're doing. I still think we can offensive flow a little bit better than we're doing to where we're, the ball is finding you and it's providing energy and doing those things. But you know what? It is not one thing. I mean, what I really like about them, like I said, we have played 21 games. There has never been a question about effort. And really in practice, too, there has not been a question about trying to get better. So just stay the course. I mean, it's never going to be one thing. And every day provides a unique opportunity and a challenge.
What's Jamal been like the last 6-7 games now where he's on this stretch of 5 straight, I guess it is, 20 in a row, or 20 points or more, and 7 of 8. He's on another level than even he was before. And I know he kind of got a little short with me when I asked him. I said, "Did something change?" He said, "No," and that was it. Did you see something that changed? Because he's scoring at a different level than he had since he's been here.
No. No, but I'm not going to give you a one-word answer. But honestly, his approach is the same. Sometimes you got to tone him down a little bit because he is so driven and so focused every single day. So I have not seen a change. I think he is as meticulous with his work on a daily basis, and that provides great confidence for him. I don't think there has been one thing that's changed. He's the same every day. He's very, very consistent. He's not real up. He's not real down. He's not a beat his chest, look at me type of guy. But I have not seen a difference, and that's why – and I don't think he's ever really played bad, but maybe you have a off shooting night versus UNLV. He's got the confidence to just go right back to it because he believes so much in his preparation. So I don't think anything's changed. I think that he is a assassin with that mid-range. He can really, really score in a variety of ways. But his work is going to be consistent for a long time.
Now, how big is he just from a leadership standpoint, too? Because, we talked to him. He's just such a level-headed guy. You know what I'm saying? How big is he?
Yeah. I think that the reason why we've been able to jumpstart this process the way that we have is to be able to add somebody like him in year one with amazing substance. Obviously, a very, very good player, an all-conference player, but just that work ethic. We have a collection of guys who, if you don't work hard, you're going to look bad. And certainly it starts at the top with Jamal.
Anything else for Coach?
It is only – this will be game 9, so it's only now at the midway point. But do you think Jalen and Jamal both have a case for player of the year in this league right now at the midway point?
Well, it's like I said about, writing a movie review before the movie's over. Certainly if there was a decision right now, they'd be right there. Knock on wood, they stay healthy, keep getting better. They'll be right there, but that's obviously a question for 5-6 weeks from now. But I think they're two of the better players in the league for sure.
Coach, when you say Jamal, you even have to hold him back because he's worked so hard. Are you talking about even like taking extra shots after practice type stuff?
Yeah, he's I remember one day, I don't remember when it was, but I called his dad and I said, "Hey, just reach out to Jay and tell him that he needs to slow down a little bit." And as I said it, I'm hearing balls bouncing in the gym. And he was in there doing like 2-ball dribbling. That's just the way he is, and it's never going to change. Good, bad. He's not one of those guys that is reading his mentions constantly or whatever. I mean, he probably is, but he doesn't seem affected by it. But yeah, he just works his butt off every day.